Yo, what up, man? It's your boy, Miss Fantastic 824, the BABGOG, and I appreciate you pull up on me. Hey, do me a huge favor, man. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the subscribe button, all those great things. Let's get into this review.
I attracted the most men when I looked closer to a man. I was a bodybuilder for 2 years, and when I looked like this and this, I attracted the most men, and that really started making me think about what men are attracted to. And it really did kind of put the thought in my head that these men are like attracted to men.
Men are down low or like the bros, edition 5 million. Okay. Can we start with this, ladies? Okay. You are a woman. Okay. Your anatomy and your physiology does not change with your choice of activity. A man that likes you, whether you're muscular, whether you're fat, whether you're skinny, whether you're tall, whether you're short, okay, does not make him gay. It just don't. It don't make sense. Okay. A man cannot be gay for liking biological women. How many times we got to go over this? And then furthermore, you are a bodybuilder, okay, which is a extremely male dominated sport, which means you're going to be around even a higher group of men than normal women. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Only those men, more likely than not, are going to actually appreciate it, which you're going to talk about later on. But let's keep going.
Subconsciously, it's deep in their brain that what they're actually attracted to is how a man looks. They just want the internal of a woman.
No, as a man that works out in the gym, okay, I never look at another man, okay, and think, oh my God, I wish he was a woman. Can we stop it? This is why I say, man, and men constantly say, men understand women a whole lot better than women understand men, and women never try to truly understand men. They just have their own preconceptions and misconceptions and talk boldly and wrongly about it.
And I kind of feel like it's the same for women on the opposite spectrum, but that's a different video if I ever make it. But I think for a lot of men, obviously this won't go for all of them, but I think for a lot of men on a deeper level, they want femininity in a woman because it is a display of submissiveness. Because men are always going to pick a woman based off the approval that they are going to gain from other men.
Now, she's partially right there, partially right, but not all the way, and it depends. Men do not want to be seen with an undesirable woman. That is true. But I think that goes for both men and women. A man that's out with that undesirable woman, an unattractive woman, is going to be looked down upon as like, really? That's what you know what I mean? That's what you taking serious. So there's some truth to this, but again, as she said in the other part, women are the same way. Okay. Most people want to be seen with people that other people are attracted to, men or women.
And if this is a very submissive man himself and he cares a lot about what other people think about him, a lot of men will try to overcompensate by wanting to be with a woman who is wearing makeup. She's dressed up, very girly. She has like a high level of hyper femininity because no one is then going to question his sexuality. A lot of these men don't want a woman because she's feminine. They want a woman because she knows how to display that she's not a man. Okay? And so these are women.
Don't women want men that display that they're not a woman? So basically, what you're saying, you did all that talking around to say a man wants a woman that looks like and presents herself as a woman. What's wrong with that? This is the problem with modern society where all these lines are blurred and everything is gray. You just made the biological imperative that men have to have a desire for women problematic. You don't see anything wrong with that?
That they're going to take out in public, because I feel as though it's the same thing for women who are overweight. There are a lot of men who don't mind dealing with overweight women, but guess what? They're not going to marry them They're not going to take them out in public. They're not going to publicly display these overweight women because they don't conform to what the standard of what a woman should look like. And so whenever I would like have men be attracted to me, and in my head I'm thinking like I have these big ass muscles, like I'm not saying that you can't be a woman that has muscles and men not like that, but men also have muscles.
Listen, there's this female wrestler that I just learned about a few years back, Cargill. I think Jade Cargill is cut the up, okay, cut up like hey, cocaine back in the '80s, right? No man is turning down Cargill, bro, because of her muscles. Okay, all right, we gonna see it through. We gonna see what that thing be like. Okay, women that bodybuild and women that have extremely muscular physiques are extremely rare. Okay. All right. Dudes have things on a list that they might like to experience once in a lifetime. Like a tall girl. Okay. A girl of another race. A little person girl. Woman, of course, grown woman. All these people I'm talking about are adults, obviously, right? Be careful. Y'all get weird. But yeah, men like variety, and a woman that's attractive facially and she has a very nice physique. No, that does not make you again anything like I don't look at you and think of a man's muscles. I'm like, damn, she's got muscles and she's still attractive. Let me, what I'm saying, have a little sample of that.
And so in my head, I'm thinking if you are into something that I also possess, does that also mean that you like it in the opposite sex? Because let's think about it. When
No, no. And the fact that your physiology, right, your anatomy has a vagina kills all of your logic. I'm into you because I want to get into you. Yes. So anything else you're about to say again, moot and just a whole bunch of nonsense.
men want to get muscles, who are they typically looking at for inspiration? They're typically looking at other men, right? And I think this is why the trans community gets so much flack, because I think if men were to live in their truth, if if men wouldn't become trans, they would be more open about wanting to deal with trans women, because men want the best of both worlds. Men essentially want someone externally to match them while internally being a woman, because men understand that they cannot gain any benefit from a man. Okay, do men go to other men when they need a place to stay? Do men go to other men when they need money? Do men go to
Yeah, all these things you're saying, yeah. Y'all complain about men having roommates all the time. So that's literally somewhere else to stay to where you're two men that live together, okay? Heterosexual men that live together and you guys help each other to be able to have a place to stay. All right. He's smashing girls in his room, you smashing girls in your room. Never any type of, you know, weirdness going on between those two men. Money. Men borrow money from other men all the time. What are you talking about? Again, baby, you're making yourself, you know, look how they say a lot of muscle heads look, okay? Maybe it's the PEDs because we know the majority of people that get involved in bodybuilding engage in those. So maybe that's what it, but from what I'm seeing, baby, you long beyond those days and you just, head full of air. We'll just say that.
other men when they need somebody to be vulnerable with, when they need emotional support? No, they go to women for that. So if you can display yourself as if you kind of look like a man.
And furthermore, you just proved the point. Men go to women for that because they want comfort, they want solace, they want, what I mean, physical um touch and things along with that, feeling better and feeling easier. All right. If you telling your homeboys your problems, you ain't finna lay up on his chest and tell him. Okay. Pause. All right. But if it's your old lady, you can lay on her thigh, you can lay on her chest, you can lay on her butt. hey, that softness, and it's like a couch, man. A woman's body is like a therapist couch, baby. Bring that fupa on over here, baby. Let me lay on it. Let me put on that fupa and tell you my problems of the day. You're proving the point of what men want women for, women being women physiologically the most. Okay, all right.
And I'm not even gonna lie, bodybuilding kind of had me in like a rugged, disciplinary, authoritative state, which is a lot in closer proximity to the masculine than the feminine. And I feel as though that also turned a lot of men on, because women can be everything and nothing all at once. So, of course, me highlighting those attributes didn't really take away from the fact that, like, I know how to have empathy, I know how to be nurturing, I know how to be caring. And me being in that state really did highlight the fact to me that, like, on a deeper level, men really do want to be like men. It's just they like the femininity performance of women, because that is what's acceptable, and they don't want anyone questioning what type of woman that they're with. They don't want anyone saying, is your girlfriend a lesbian, or she has muscles that are bigger than you. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't take any of these guys seriously, but also, like, I don't think that these would ever be men that would ever want to take me seriously either.
So it's a wash. So what are we talking about here? If you don't take the guy seriously, and you don't take the guy seriously, and they don't take you seriously, what are we talking about here? Again, I mean, you got this long diatribe and monologue about a bunch of nothing. Again, anything other than making another way, finding another way to make men gay, to make straight men gay. Jesus Christ, bro.
Because for a lot of men, like, even when I would say, like, hey, I want to go to the gym with you, they wouldn't want to go to the gym with me. They'd be like, no, 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 I don't want to go to the gym with you. And one of them, I had even asked him, I was like, why don't you want to go to the gym with me? And he's like, because, like, your muscles are bigger than mine, and, like, I don't have as much strength because I had an injury, and, like,
Oh, so you were out here being Shebo. You were out here searching for men that fixed your superiority and dominance thing, that you were bigger than. Come on, Shawty. You exposing yourself. You accused the men that were in bodybuilding like you, and like you when you were bodybuilding, of being these, undercover brothers. When whole time you didn't even want to deal with them, because you had this superiority complex you needed to carry out with the work you were doing in bodybuilding. So this is basically like, hey, you said it, you didn't take these men serious, they didn't take you serious, but the guys you were taking serious, you were bigger than. How does that even make sense?
I don't really want us to go to the gym with each other. And then, like, people start sizing us up and then, like, comparing us to one another. But I really do like you. And I remember how he was saying that, like, he remembered that, or I remembered him saying that the reason why I like you is because, like, you're kind of like the male version of me. Like, you remind me of, like, myself, like, in the female form, essentially. And that's when I was the fucking most masculine, not only on a physical level, but also intellectually. I was more masculine in my thinking. I was more binary in my thinking, more black and white, less nuance. I would dare to say, like, less intellectual, even.
The smartest people to ever walk the earth have been men, by far. The greatest innovators, the greatest thinkers. This is a whole bunch of, this is a feminist this is a feminist rant, bro. Okay. Why do women always do this? Okay. Education doesn't equal intelligence. All right. The most intelligent people to ever walk this earth were men. So to make it seem like women are more intellectual than men, again, more air.
I will go as far as to say. And so I think for a lot of men, they really do want someone that highlights these physical characteristics and mental characteristics of a man, while your internal, where your heart is as a woman, they want to be able to use that and exploit that for their own benefit because they understand that there is no other worldly source that they're going to be able to get that from aside from a woman, because we are the life source. And so this is the reason why a lot of these men will be DL, because physically they are attracted to men. Emotionally, they want to be with a woman because they understand that they can't reap the benefits. Men are not going to be a shoulder that they can cry on. Men are not going to be understanding and give them empathy and things like that. They're not going to get that from a man. But that physicality that men possess, it's a reflection of themselves, and everybody likes to see a mirror of themselves reflected, especially men, because it does something for their ego. It does something for their pride, and it kind of reassures them that, like, okay, I like these parts of me that are being mirrored back to me. Whereas with women, they don't get that satisfaction of having that mirroring. They can just reap the benefits of what they just don't have, because they don't have any empathy, they don't have any of this like moral compass or support or anything like that. They're not able to get that. So I don't know. I kind of wanted to get that off my chest just simply because now that I'm leaner, and I mean, obviously, like, I feel like, it's pretty easy to see that, like, I do have a little bit of muscle tone. So obviously, men know that, like, I lift and, like, I lift weights and things like that. But when I was really, 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 really shredded, and I remember even on dating apps, I would get the most likes on dating apps whenever I had my bodybuilding pictures up. And I literally had a guy reject me because I pretty much told him, like, me doing bodybuilding, like, that was a wrinkle in time. Like, I don't want to look like that anymore. I don't want to train like that anymore.
Okay, so you're using one guy as the representation of all men, but when you clearly say that most men, you know what I mean, liked you with your bodybuilding pictures, again, outside of this being a smear campaign of straight men, that they're somehow secretly DL men, what are we talking about here, man? What are we talking about? This is a whole bunch of nonsense, a whole rant full of just like, hey, when I had muscles, these men wanted me, and now that I don't got muscles, they still want me. But let me talk about when I had muscles. Or you're saying that you're not having as much success now as you had back then. I don't know.
I don't want to have a relationship with food like that anymore. I don't want to do it. And he literally rejected me because of it, because he was like, no, like, I want a woman that actually looks like more masculine. Like, I actually want a woman who she looks a lot closer to how I look, and like we both kind of have muscles or whatever. And anybody that has followed me long enough, if you scroll down long enough, you'll know that, like, I literally dismantled this because there's been studies done on men that, like, train regularly at the gym, and how their level of fitness also correlates to their level of actually being attracted to men. It's actually a very, very high correlation between.
Show us a study. I get tired of y'all talking about a study, a study, a study, but you guys never tagged the study. You never even put a screenshot of the study, and while you're talking about it, show us the study. Okay, is it peer reviewed? Is like how is it tested? What's the variables? Come on, man, stop it. Anybody can have a study nowadays. Okay, in the day of studies, most men that are into lifting weights and bodybuilding do not like men. Okay, it's just not the case. It's not. Can we stop the bullshit?
The two, because men want to look a certain way to impress a certain demographic.
Yeah, women, men want to look a certain way to impress women, to attract women. This is why men, you know what I'm saying, your arms are a thing that men always want to focus on in the gym, because you can see it, your chest, anything that makes your upper body look a certain type of way and give you the V taper, all right, shows health, shows fitness, shows strength. The woman is biologically and subconsciously wired to see that. Okay, because you want to talk about the physiology part and the physical and all the different things, but not actually get the science behind it. There are certain cues on a man's body that a woman's going to be attracted to: his height, his arm size, facial hair, his hair or not having hair, a whole bunch of different things, bro. His brow ridge. There are certain things: jawline, jaw structure, square jaw. There are certain things, again, that subconsciously women are going to be attracted to, because it tells them about them being a superior person to mate with, pretty much. There is going to give the greatest turnout for them having a child with that person. The child's going to be healthy, and all these different things, and so on and so forth.
while also somewhat trying to fit in the mold of not looking gay. A lot of these men, they're picking feminine women just simply because they don't want to look gay. And then what will happen is that
No, we are picking feminine women because we like feminine women. Okay, we're picking feminine women because that's what we like. Men like to have sex with women, so that's why you pick a woman.
they'll get somebody feminine and then they want you to no longer wear makeup. They want you to start hitting the gym. They want you to start losing weight. They start complaining about your curves. They start complaining about your extra belly fat. Yeah, because they really want a man. They just don't want the world to know that they want a man.
So no, so for the men that start complaining about those things and whatnot, love, I would say this, right? Um, those men got you at a certain point, more likely than not, and then you changed up, right? To go away from bodybuilding to being a regularly built woman is a big um adjustment and change for a man that came into a relationship with that level of fitness and that physique. Okay, you can't then try and shame that man and say it's something wrong with him and challenge his sexuality because simply he's not attracted to that. Okay, a man that wants hard chiseled muscle, pause, okay, is going to complain about belly fat, a fupa, and a little bit of cellulite. Okay, so we're just being reasonable here. We're being realistic. It sounds like to me you had a breakup or you had men reject you. Now that you change your body, and it's become a little bit more difficult because now you're in this limbo. You're too muscular for most guys and regular guys, okay? Because they, like I said, they can still see your muscle tone, right? They can still see that you know what I'm saying, you're a bigger female physiologically. Most men don't want their woman to be bigger than them, okay? That is a social cue that you referenced to earlier, to where the optics of a man and the woman he's with is very, very important. This is why most men don't want to deal with taller women. Most men. Are there some little fella federation guys out here? Shout out to them. All my 5'3" and below, they don't really have a choice for the most part, because I think a woman's average height is like 5'5". So if you're at a certain, you know what I'm saying, height, you really don't have a choice because you're just that short. But however it goes, listen, um, somebody love you, baby. Shout out to Pally Bell. All right. Find a man that likes you for you. I might suggest that you get you a BABG. I ain't saying me, but you know what I'm saying? get you a bigger man that doesn't mind your prior bodybuilding experience, and he's naturally bigger than you anyway, so he's never going to be intimidated or offended. But anyway, man, hey, Miss Fantastic 824 on all social media platforms, man. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, all those good things, and pop up back on me for more reviews, man. Pull back up on me for some more reviews, man. I'm out.